Hello, everyone. Charlie Neese. I want to help answer some of these questions I'm getting about the hurricane and how it's going to be affecting Middle Tennessee. This is Thursday, a little after noon, and just want to take a look at some of the computer model data and how this is going to be affecting Middle Tennessee. I'm getting a lot of questions from agents. I'm getting a lot of questions from friends and family also. How is this storm going to affect Middle Tennessee? Well, obviously, it's going to be a lot worse to our south and also a lot more heavy rain to our east as it hits the Big Bend of Florida and then travels up through the mountains and then kind of winds back across Middle Tennessee as we go through the next 24 to 48 hours. We're going to start to see the heavier rain settle into Middle Tennessee Thursday night and then on into Friday. And if you're going to be traveling, just expect a lot of rainfall and winds will be picking up as what's left over of Helene, the center of it, kind of wraps into Middle Tennessee Friday, but everything should start to get better late Friday night into Saturday and over the weekend as the effects begin to diminish across Middle Tennessee. So let's take a look at the model data and see what it's saying. This is the HRRR. Again, I'm recording this on Thursday, 9/26 at around 12:30 in the day. So the forecast, this is the HRRR model, and it's forecasting the rain to start affecting the Nashville area as we go through the evening hours. So between 6 and 8 o'clock, we'll start to see the more steady rain settle in. Some spotty showers are going to be possible ahead of that. And then as we head in through the overnight hours, there's midnight. You can see much of Middle Tennessee covered up with rain. Winds will be 10 to 15 miles an hour. Gusts, though, will begin increasing as we go through the overnight hours. And some of the gusts could approach 30 to 40 miles an hour as we go through the overnight hours into the first part of Friday. The early morning hours of Friday, this is at 6 a.m., areas of very heavy rainfall. This will be tropical, dense rainfall across Middle Tennessee with upwards of 2 to 4 inches of rain possible. Some localized areas might see more by the time this is all said and done. And that comes on the heels of 1 to 3 inches of rain across Middle Tennessee that's already occurred this week. So could have some localized flooding problems by the time we get into later Friday and Friday night. But this is at 6 a.m. on Friday, still raining. For those agents who were planning to have some showings on Friday, it's going to be pretty wet. For the rest of us that we're going to be out and about, it's just going to be wet. Take the umbrellas. This is at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Start to see an area of drier air wrapping into East Tennessee. And then that's going to try to give us a little bit of a break as we go into the 5 o'clock hour, perhaps a few breaks in the heavier rains from Nashville down to Columbia and back toward Cookeville. But after that, the west side begins to wrap right in and the rains return as we go into the evening hours. This is at 10 o'clock on Friday. More rainfall across Middle Tennessee. And again, some of this locally heavy, but gradually as the system overall weakens and is absorbed by this massive upper low across Middle Tennessee, we're going to be seeing the conditions gradually improving. So this is in the early morning hours of Saturday, 5 a.m. You can see that still some leftover showers, some gusty winds, but the heaviest of the rains are starting to push off toward the east. And again, as the day wears on Saturday, things will get better and better. So overall, look for the heaviest of the rains to settle in Thursday evening into Friday, accompanied by wind gusts 10 to 20 miles an hour, sustained winds, and then wind gusts approaching 30 to 40 miles an hour. Could be a few localized areas that see even higher winds than that. But most of the real damaging winds are going to be down to our south over parts of Georgia, obviously down into Florida, maybe even into the higher elevations of East Tennessee. Around here, can't rule out some trees down, some local power outages, but the bulk of the wind energy to our south and to our east. The other story will be the locally heavy rains. 2 to 4 inches of rain will be possible by the time this is all said and done as we go through the day on Saturday. Could be some localized areas of flooding problems, of flood watches in effect for most of Middle Tennessee. And then as we go into the weekend, the weather will be getting gradually better and better. So that's the way it looks like Helene will be affecting Middle Tennessee. Our thoughts and prayers are with the folks down to the south over Florida and into parts of Georgia, where this is going to be a pretty serious storm for those folks. Lots of week-long power outages, lots of tree damage, coastal flooding with storm surge up to 20 feet in the Big Bend. It's just going to be a mess down there. For us, it's going to be one of those classic systems usually around Middle Tennessee, we just get the leftovers of the hurricanes after they've lost their energy. As soon as hurricanes hit land, they start to gradually lose their energy. But when they're really strong like this, it takes a while for them. I mean, this one's going to remain a hurricane probably all the way into Georgia. And that's why folks down there are really taking heed. And there's lots of warnings down if you're traveling. I wouldn't be traveling down into any parts of Georgia or northern Florida until after we get into the weekend. And even then, expect roads to be blocked with trees, lots of power outages down that way. And again, finally, the final review for Middle Tennessee, 2 to 4 inches of rain, some localized flooding possible, wind gusts approaching 40 miles an hour, could be some locally higher gusts than that. Some spotty trees down, maybe some localized power outages. Shouldn't be too widespread across Middle Tennessee, but we'll have to watch this system as it affects us. And as we go into Saturday, especially Sunday, things will get a lot better for Middle Tennessee. The worst should come Thursday night into Friday as the core of the remnant of Helene moves across our area. But stay safe, everybody.